Hello Aries, welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to be watching this, it was meant to find you. And please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Speaking of details, first cards that come out today are the Hierophant and the Prince of Cups. So let's put that into some context, all right, and see what that might mean for Aries. Now, as I do this, I'd also like to say that if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. And I'm happy to see the Emperor up there at the top because that is your patron card. So I feel like this is really a special time for you right now. I feel like you're really in your zone. You are really kind of coming into your own power, right? You're really owning who you are, and you've really, I think, found your purpose and you're finding your identity. Okay, let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use Rider-Waite-Smith. And this is the card that we set aside. We're not going to look at this until the very end of the reading. And hopefully this will tie the reading together, you know, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of things. So we've got that major arcana, major arcana. We've got some earth, some court cards, a little bit of fire and water. Very balanced over here. We've got some air. We've got the Mercury energy, more fire, more water. It's pretty balanced. A little bit light on the air energy, but I think that's okay because we do have the Two of Swords and we've got this Mercury energy. I think that takes care of the air. Now, we've got this person. I think, well, these two cards came out together, so we'll talk about these together. I feel like there's a water sign person close to you. I feel like whatever's on your mind right now is involving this water sign person, and it feels like you're kind of trying to get a read on them, you know? You're trying to find out who they are, because I feel like they've got this kind of persona, they've got this, maybe this swagger about them, they've got this way of doing things, they've got this mask that they kind of wear. But you want to really know them, right? You want to get behind that mask. You want to find out what they're really about, what their intentions are, what their soul is really like, right? What their plans are, what they believe in, what they love, what scares them. You want to know what brings them joy. You want to know more authentically who they are, okay? And I feel like you're in some kind of a situation with them where you are being looked at for guidance, right? That, I don't know if this is a family member perhaps. It kind of feels to me like family. Could be someone in your home. We've got the Four of Discs back there. Could be someone that you live with, you know. I feel like they're really looking to you for guidance. But you're having difficulty really seeing if they're being authentic, right? You're getting some mixed signals from them as far as what their intentions are, about what they're really trying to do, right? Are they just trolling you, or are they being sincere? Because I feel like they're kind of asking you for something. They see you as a very strong, very wise person. And it feels to me like it's authentic, you know? But even with this Mercury energy, this magician over here, kind of the trickster, kind of in your environment, they may say something very sincere, but then they'll follow it up with a joke, right? And then you're just left kind of thinking, is this real, or what's going on here, you know? Is this someone that's just kind of wasting my time? Or is this a legitimate, sincere, authentic request from you? Because I feel like you are generally in your life looked at as someone with authority. Now we have that Emperor energy at the top, and this is the patron card for Aries. So I think you're really entering that time of your life where you're owning your energy. You know who you are. You know what you're about. You're being your most authentic self. Okay? And you kind of want other people to do the same. You know, you're raising your expectations for the people around you. And I think that this brings you a lot of respect from others. I think your friends, your family, maybe this is something at work, could be. I think people look up to you. I think people really value your guidance, your wisdom, your insight, your authority, your leadership. Because I feel like you have all of those qualities, and you know that about yourself. Right? You're confident in who you are. So I don't think this is the first and only person that is asking for some kind of guidance from you or asking your advice about something, right? I think it kind of is it's this vibe, it's this radiance that you have. People feel like you'd give them good advice, and you probably do, you know. And maybe you will provide them advice in such a way that you kind of follow it up with a little bit of humor too, you know. Because this Mercury energy is really, this is your environment, but this card is also your greatest asset, which could be to turn something that's very serious and usually kind of formal and kind of stuffy into a fun, relaxing experience with, you know, a little bit of humor. Adds a little bit of levity to the situation, right? So it's not so serious. I think that's another quality that you have, and that I think is a good quality for an Emperor-style energy. But this particular water sign person, I feel like there's someone who is younger than you. If this is in your place of employment or in some kind of work, a professional setting, it's someone who's rather newer to the company or newer to this business or this organization that you're in, and they look at you as someone with experience that they could really get some good advice from, some good guidance. And I think that this also takes place in your personal life. So I don't know where this particular water sign person is, if it's at home or at work, in your professional or your private life, but I feel like they too see you as someone who can offer some really good advice. A very wise person that can guide them in some way about something. Now, we see in the recent past this Four of Discs. I think that you have achieved a level of success in your life that adds to your experience, adds to your wisdom. And I think people see you as someone who is successful, someone who has established a life for themselves. You've got a good foundation. You've got a good head on your shoulders, but you also have very stable feet and legs. A very stable, let's say, throne that you're sitting on, like that figure there. So you have, in your life, overcome obstacles. Maybe you hadn't always been successful. Maybe when you were younger, you struggled a lot, and maybe there was no one to really give you good, solid advice or guidance, right? So now we're stepping into our role in that Emperor energy, and we want to kind of be that for other people, to be what we never had, right? Because I think with this Four of Discs, I feel like you're like a self-made person. There was no one there to really show you the way. You kind of had to fight your way through and create your own path, because there was no one to show you the ropes or to steer you clear from danger. You kind of had to make the mistakes and figure them out and keep going on. And I think it's paid off for you. I think now you have something that you achieved on your own with very little help or guidance from anyone else. But now we've got that Hierophant. Now it's kind of something where all of this experience that you've learned, all of this overcoming of obstacles that you've achieved, that you've managed, you kind of want to impart that wisdom and that knowledge on to someone else, the people that are kind of coming after you, coming up behind you. And so it feels to me like this is a situation like that, where this person maybe is struggling, this water sign person, that they may be struggling with their own difficulties, their own challenges, and maybe you see a lot of yourself in them. Like I said, you kind of have that humor thing too, You like to end something serious with little levity. So I think you see a lot of yourself in this person, and you recognize that, yeah, they don't really have anyone guiding them either, the same way you perhaps didn't. So maybe that is where some of this Hierophant energy comes from, is that you want to kind of, be that for them a little bit. But we're getting a difficult read on this person, if they're really sincere and authentic, or if you're just kind of wasting your time, or if they're trolling you. You know what I mean? It's just, you want to do that. You have the impulse to do that. You have the will to do that. You certainly have the experience, the life experience, and the wisdom, But we're just unsure about that water sign person, because the water sign person could quickly become this fire sign person, and that's what I mean. We don't know who they really are. We don't know what is just kind of the swagger, the persona, the youthful kind of arrogance perhaps, or if they're really sincere and authentic and they really are taking this seriously. And we certainly don't want to spend a lot of our efforts, our time and energy, offering this to someone that is not really willing or ready to receive it, when we could be doing any number of other things, helping other people, or giving our wisdom and guidance to somebody who is ready to receive it. So having this fire energy kind of in the immediate future, or as the kind of way forward, is kind of an urging to you to say, hey, just take your Emperor energy, that fire energy, and just do it. Just take a risk. Be yourself. Give to people what you feel inspired to give. And if they don't take it in an authentic and sincere way, well, that's on them. But you're being true to yourself. You're expressing your fire energy in terms of trying to be a help, trying to be an inspiration, trying to be some sort of guide to others that are coming up behind you, right? That maybe don't have anyone to guide them, like we've been talking about. So I think that's why we got the Princess of Wands here, because it's just kind of like taking a risk. It's not really knowing the outcome. It's just kind of saying, yeah, I mean, this could all backfire. It could just be, could be nonsense. But I'm going to be true to myself. And if other people don't respond to me in a way that I think is appropriate, well, that's on them. That's not on you, right? You're maintaining your dignity. This is the Queen of Discs. Down here at the bottom. This is your calm confidence and strength. This is your trust in yourself. This is your integrity. This is you resting in your nobility, right? This is you really with this strength of character. And even if there are these kinds of frivolous people around us, or these types of folks that just aren't serious about anything yet, which, maybe times have changed a little bit, right? And maybe maybe that kind of focus doesn't come for some people until a little bit later in life. Whatever the case is, I don't want to speculate on who this water sign is or what their intentions are. But they might not be in a position. They might not be at a place in their lives where they're really ready to kind of settle down and focus on their progress and their life and their, if this is something at the workplace, in your career, in the organization that you're spending time in, this person could just be passing through, They may not be looking at this as something that they really want to turn into a long-term thing. Maybe temporary for them, you know. If this is a family member or something, well, you know, maybe they're just not in a position yet where they're really ready to take any kind of serious life advice, you know. And I remember those days. I'm sure we all do, being a kid, being in our younger years, and just really not being willing to hear the advice coming from our older, wiser family members or coworkers or the people around us. We didn't really want to hear it. I know I didn't when I was young. I didn't want to hear it. Now that I'm older, I think, well, I should have listened more, you know. But anyway, all of that kind of experience with people doesn't affect you, right? It's not going to, because you're resting in your nobility. Now, both of these figures here, one is active. The Emperor is fire. The Queen of Discs is a passive magnetic energy. So it's balanced, right? There's a lot of activity balanced with a lot of just kind of observing, by being quiet, by just paying attention, you know. But both of these figures are seated, which is telling me that nothing going on with this water sign person is so important to you that you need to get up off your throne and you know, have a big kerfuffle over. It's nothing that serious. It's nothing that important that you have to actually get up, you know. And what I mean by that is, this isn't going to be something that leads you to some kind of drastic action. You're not going to be acting impulsively. You know, you see movies or film or whatever of, you know, the nobility sitting in the throne and very calm and noble looking, you know, royal, regal. But then somebody rubs them the wrong way, and all of their composure goes out the window, and they jump up in the air and they're waving their arms around. That's what I mean. It's nothing that important that you're going to kind of lose your composure over, because these two cards are very powerful cards, very successful, very regal, but they're not going to lose their composure over something like that. And maybe that's the Princess of Wands a little bit too, saying, hey, look, you don't want to lose your composure. No, it's not that serious where you need to lose your composure, right? You can express yourself, you can do what feels right to you, and if it doesn't work out, if it's not received in the right way, that's okay. You know, nothing to get too excited over. And I think this is applying to a lot of areas of your life. I don't think this one particular water sign person is all it is. I think this is a general message that a lot of the people around you, especially the kind of maybe the younger generations, they're not going to be on the same vibe as you, right? And I think we realize that more and more as we get older. And I'm not that old, but I'm getting older. And the older I get, it feels like the younger generation, it feels like there's a larger gap, right? Even though everybody's aging at the same rate, right? It feels like the gap is getting larger. And I don't know if other people experience that or not. Anyway, we're going to move to the path of the serpent now. And the first card we run into is the Four of Wands here. So we've got the Four of Discs, we got the Four of Wands. I think this is really a lot of accomplishments in your life. Like I said, it's part of this. I think what's going on is you're looking for new ways to put all of this fiery energy into a practical use, right? So you see the opportunity to be a bit of a mentor or a teacher or a guide or give advice, and you want that. You want to feel useful. You want to feel that there's a place for your fiery creative expression to go, right? That there's something to channel it into. I think in the past you've channeled it into a lot of your physical success, maybe financial, maybe, your physical health and strength and your physical fitness. I don't know what kind of work you did, but I feel that it's something, physical, I feel like there was a physical component to your work. And now it's just kind of like looking for another way to be useful, because I feel like you've always kind of had something to do, you know? And now we're looking for that again. We need something to do, something to put our energy into, because again, we've got this Emperor energy. You're kind of in the prime of your life right now. I don't care how old you are. I feel like you're in your prime right now. You know, you could be 80 years old. I feel like this is your time. So we need to find a channel for all of this energy, this impulse, this activity, this inspiration and ambition. And maybe it is into teaching and mentoring and being a bit of a guide for the people that are kind of coming up behind us. But even if this particular person is not willing to receive that, it doesn't mean that it's a bad idea, right? So you can, if that is what you're choosing to do with your energy, is to be a bit of a mentor or a guide, like I've been saying, well, you're not going to be able to get through to everyone, right? So in those few people that may kind of slip through or slip by or don't respond, well, that's okay. That's not going to throw you off course. Even if those just one or two people that you really make it through to, that really seem to grasp what you're offering them, those are going to make it all worthwhile, okay? And that's why we can't lose our composure when one or two or these other, examples of our message not being received. We can't go all up in arms over it. We just maintain our composure, because I think that's going to happen 9 times out of 10. But that one person is really going to benefit from your guidance, your wisdom, your mentorship. And that's going to make it all worthwhile. And so it feels to me like that's sort of where you're putting some of your creative energy right now. That's the kind of the purpose that you're finding, right, in your life. And then we've talked about the Mercury a little bit. And this is, really trying to understand what you are offering other people, right? Really trying to get a clarity within yourself of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and setting up the system by which you can do that, right? So if you're getting involved in an organization where you can be a teacher or a mentor or a guide of some kind, you've got to set that system up, right? You've got to get involved in that organization or create that organization. And you need to have all of the circuits and all of the components established, right, in order for this thing to work. And then this is also your method of communication. Again, I think that you're someone who is very serious, but you always follow it up with a little bit of levity, a little bit of humor, right? And just like Mercury or Hermes, a little bit of a trickster there. And I think this really makes you an excellent communicator, right? It may be a dry humor, and, I can relate. But I think it really creates a warmth about you. People want to listen to you, right? People want to hear you talk. And I think that's a real strength. It's a really good quality that you have. Next one is the Two of Swords. Usually I'd say you've made up your mind. You know what you want to do now. But it's in the position of your fears and worries. So I feel like, yes, you have made up your mind, but sometimes you kind of question it. You kind of backtrack a little bit. And I think this is what we need to get over. I think we need to make up our mind and we need to stick to it. We need to be the emperor. The emperor doesn't give orders and then say, whoa, wait a minute. I changed my mind. We need to think it through first, really believe it, feel it, make the decision, and go for it. So I think you've made the decision. Now it's just really a matter of sticking to it and not second guessing, not doubting ourselves, The final card on the path of the serpent is the Seven of Cups. This is the first real aspect of water that we had. We have this water sign person, which I think is probably representing, maybe not one specific person, probably representing the whole pool of of people that you might be interacting with, your clients or customers or the family members or whoever you're acting as this mentor or guide to, right? There are going to be those that aren't sincere, that aren't authentic, that won't receive your message very well. And like I said, there are those, that 1 out of 10 that is going to receive it, that you are going to help, that is going to really benefit from your wisdom. And that's going to make it all worthwhile. That is what is going to make this just kind of cesspool really feel like an oasis, like a paradise, you know? And that's how we get through the 7 of cups here. We get through the disillusionment by maintaining our composure, maintaining our fiery, regal nobility, and continuing on to find that one person that we do help that makes it all worthwhile, right? So it may start looking a little dismal. You may kind of feel this disillusionment, but I promise you that if you keep at it and if you really commit to this, and this is really an expression of you and of who you are, you're going to get the rewards from it. You're going to get the satisfaction. It is going to feel good. It is going to be that oasis for you, and that establishment of the means by which you can express all of your fiery energy, your creativity, your confidence, your authenticity, right? Your eagerness to to offer something of yourself to the world, that you're used to doing that. Mystery card. Let's look at this. I wonder if this maybe will be a little more water energy. I feel like maybe this is some more water. No, it's the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords really is going back to this Two of Swords and saying, look, if you've made this decision, there should be no second guessing. If you've done the research, you've done the contemplation, the introspection, if you've done all of the thinking beforehand, once you decide, there's no going back. So before that decision is made, maybe you haven't made that decision yet, look at this from all different angles. Be ready for the kind of disillusionment that might come. And ask yourself if you can endure that, to find that 1 out of 10 people that's going to make it all worthwhile. So this really, the Ace of Swords here is really about doing all of the research beforehand, looking at everything from many different angles so that your thoughts are unified as one. And if this Two of Swords is kind of representing the decision, but then kind of backtracking, you're still kind of wishy-washy about it, vacillating a little bit, we need to put an end to that. We need to really get crystal clarity on this, right? Because this is something that you're going to end up pouring your heart and soul into. You're going to be giving this 110% because that's how you operate. Better make sure that we're making the right decision, What we're going to do now is an extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, please click on the link that's right here, and you can have access to all of the extended readings here on the channel. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. This was your timeless reading, which means that whenever you're watching this, this is when you were meant to see it. And I want to thank you again for letting me read for you here on Dove and Serpent Tarot.